welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. So as you guys can see, this is a cozy vibe because this, for the most part of the video, is going to be super cozy and comfy. I'm going to try to film a reading vlog of the book that I'm currently reading. I usually prioritize my weekends for reading, especially my Saturdays. When I wake up, I'm always reading for at least like 3 or more hours. So I felt like it was going to be super fun of me making a vlog out of it. So that's what today's vlog is going to be. And then also I wanted to like also include my January and February reads, so me catching up, you guys catching up with the books that I've been reading, and yeah, talk about them if I remember any of them. And then I do also have a meeting later on in the afternoon around like 4 or 5-ish, and I will try also vlog there because apparently the place that I'm going for the meeting is a super cute place, so I will try to like get like a few videos of that and insert it into this, so it's kind of like, you know, spend the day with me. And yeah, so I literally just woke up, but I've already taken like my shower. I had to like wash my hair, and yeah, so I've set up the vibe already. I've like, you know, lit up my candles and hence the lights too. I don't like bright light, but I tried. So if you think this video is going to be like kind of like dark, I'm sorry about that, but like I just love cozy vibe when I'm reading. So let's go and make coffee first and then we'll come back. Coffee break, sorry, because this coffee is so good. Like I started using like vanilla flavored almond milk, so I don't necessarily like use the caramel syrup anymore, and it's just perfect. And this almond milk whips so well, so yeah, I'm just loving that. Sorry, another one. Okay, so yes, this is your cue to also grab your drink if you drink coffee, your tea, any type of drink, and yeah, just, you know, watch this video, have fun. And also I'm thinking of adding like a reading sprint to the video while I'm also like reading my book, so you know, you can use this opportunity to read as well, but also me in the background. I got this idea from this girl that I watch on BookTube. I will put her YouTube here because I forgot her name. Yeah, so let's dive into the book that we're currently reading. So the book that we are reading, I'm saying we because we should, you know, I feel like we're reading this together. It's called Phantom by Greer Rivers. It is a dark romance, and it's actually a romantic retelling of the music classic Phantom of the Opera. And that is all that I read. I rarely, if not ever, read the back of the books or like, you know, want to know anything about the book. I love entering my books blind, but I've heard nothing but amazing things about this book, and this has been on my TBR since like last year because I got this for my birthday last year, and we're in the month of March and it's almost my birthday, so it's been on my shelf sitting there looking at me for almost a year. So I'm like, nah, I need to pick this up and I need to finish it before my birthday, because I actually want to start Magnolia Parks on my birthday. So yeah, and I'm really thinking of doing like a vlog for that one specifically. So I'm really trying to finish this book before my birthday. I'm currently on page 108, and am I liking it so far? Yes, I'm loving the fact that it's also giving like a gothic atmospheric vibe, because there's not one day where it's sunny. Like any day that is described in this book is really like dark, gloomy, rainy days. And I'm loving like all the feels, like even like the FMC, she loves going to like this bakery, and there's a lot of French, obviously, you know, because of the opera and the Phantom of Opera, like there's a lot of like references in French. And for those of you who don't know, I do speak French, so me like understanding everything, I don't have to like Google. For me, it's just like, you know, a plus for me. So yeah, I was talking about the bakery, yeah, and she loves the bakery, and she's always talking about like these croissants and these like pastries that she's eating. And I don't know, I just love that, because who doesn't love, you know, a good pastry? Even though like I don't have a sweet tooth, I just feel like going to the bakery, I don't know, I'm just loving the vibes. So yes, so let's do some reading. It's currently 10, and I'm thinking of like reading for an hour. So let's read. Okay, so I don't want to talk too much about this book because I love my books blind, so I want you to enter any book I recommend blind. But what I can say is that the MMC is giving everything I want in a morally gray character. He's literally the toucher and you yes, and I just realizing that it is like a stalker romance as well, and I love a good stalker romance. I'm just loving everything, but also, like, you know, check the trigger warnings because it does touch a lot on like mental health, like a mental disorder as well, because the female male character, her name is Scarlett, yeah, and she deals with bipolar disorder, and it does touch a lot on the bipolar and how she's dealing with it, and how like other people also view bipolar disorder and how it affects her as a person who actually has bipolar disorder. And I'm loving that twist to it because I think it's my very first time even reading from a POV of someone who has bipolar disorder, so that's really pretty, like, it's really interesting. It's kind of hard reading because I mean mental health is, I'm really big on mental health, so yeah, reading, you know, someone that has like a bipolar disorder, because I always wondered how you know, how it would be, because I can only just imagine. So yeah, and then we follow Soul, which I spoke about, our MMC, and I'm really loving him. I'm loving his character because he's definitely dark, and if I'm reading a dark romance, the MMC or the FMC, either one has to be very dark, and the MMC in this is very dark, and I love how like he's very much possessive of Scarlett, and I feel like so far from what I've read, he's literally the only one who understands her like mental disorder, and I feel like he takes it like so seriously, like even her, okay, I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't want to spoil it for you, but there's like so many things that I've read so far, like even, you know, she has to take like some pills that do help her like sleep and control her disorder, and like her, like, you know, missing her pills and taking like different pills, he gets like so triggered by it because he is so like overprotective from her, like of her. And yeah, I mean, so far it's really good, and I really like him because I love me a possessive man and a possessive character. So yeah, so far it's really good, and I love it because, like I said at first, it's still giving me that whole atmospheric dark gothic vibe, and I'm loving the whole like opera, I don't know, everything. I'm loving it so far. So yeah, what I think I'll do now is I think I'll take a break from reading, and I'm gonna start, like, you know, I'll do the wrap up. Like I said, I just have to go into my office though to grab the books that I have. I know that I don't have all the physical books that I've read for January and February because I think I sold some. So yeah, let me grab the ones that I do have. Okay, so I was actually able to get all the books that I finished in the month of January and February. So January was actually a great month for me because I read 8 books, and that's usually rare for me because I'm usually reading maximum 3 books per month. So January was really good for me. So let's start with the first book that I finished, which is, sorry, I'm just checking on my phone because it's on GOODREADS, and the first book that I finished, which was The Perfect Son by Frida McFadden. I gave it away. I gave it to a friend, and I have to like remember how much I rated it because I don't think I remember anything about this one. Okay, I rated a 4-star, and yeah, I think I remember a little bit of it. The plot twist really did get me, but I felt like it was a bit too far-fetched. Like, Frida McFadden, and I think I've already mentioned this in like one of my previous videos. Frida's writing is very, very fast paced, so you just want to know what will happen next. But some of her plot twists just don't really fit in and don't really make sense, because it's like, okay, how was it, like, I don't know. That's how I felt about The Perfect Son. I remember now. I remember. Yes, I remember. So yeah, but I rated a 4-star because I literally ate it up in like a day. Like, I literally started reading it in the morning. By like 6-7 p.m. I was done with this book, and I really ate it up. But like, I was just not satisfied with the ending. I just thought it was just like, okay, that is so not realistic. Like, even if like I'm reading a book, I understand that it doesn't necessarily have to be realistic, but come on, like, we're reading a psychological thriller. Like, it needs to make sense in my head, and that book just didn't do it for me. Thinking of it, even a 4-star was like too much for me. I should have rated it a 3. But yeah, that was The Perfect Son by Frida McFadden. The second book that I finished actually is another thriller, and this one I do have a copy of it. It's Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. This has been on my TBR for like the longest time. So I bought it when I went when I traveled in December, and I was like, no, I need to read this because it's super short, and I did annotate it. And yeah, this was definitely a creepy book. And did I love it? I actually did, because even though I saw the plot twist coming, like by the end of the book you do start like piecing everything together, because I can't really remember exactly what it's about. Mind you, I'm not gonna tell you guys what any of these books are really about, because one, I really remember, even if like I loved a book, I really remember it until I start talking about it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's number one. And then two, I want you to enter these books blind. So just please, like, if you want to read it based on like the ratings, please just, you know, read it without wanting me to tell you about the book. But yes, this was definitely a very creepy book, and the main reason why I really wanted to read this one was because I read Gone Girl by her, and I absolutely loved Gone Girl. Like, I loved that book, and when the movie came out, I loved the movie too. So yeah, I thought like Gillian Flynn's writing is really good, and mind you, it's a really short read, even though like the writing is really small. Yeah, I forgot about that one too. The writing is really small, but I ate it up like crazy. I loved it so much. It is more of like an in-depth thriller. If you are used to Frida McFadden's writing, I feel like you could like this book, because her writing is so when you're like a Frida McFadden reader and you've only read her type of thrillers, I feel like it will be hard for you to enter into like deep thrillers such as this one. And I feel like it will be good for you to try it out so that you can see the difference. But yeah, I forgot what it was about, but I think I rated it I rated it a 4-star, yeah, because I remember really liking it, especially the ending. Even though, like I said, I did see the plot twist coming, it was still so messed up. And then there was like another plot twist that came after that I did not see that one coming. So really liked it. And then the other book is Haunted Love by Sheridan Ann. I also annotate this one. This one is supposed to be a dark romance, and the reason why I'm saying it's supposed to be is because I went into this book thinking that it was a dark romance, because it did say that it is a dark romance, but it did not give dark romance at all. It's a dark brother's best friend standalone romance. That's what it says on the cover. And it didn't give dark at all, but I loved this book so much. Like, I really liked this book. I think I rated it a 4.5, I think. Let me check. check. I rated it a 4-star. Yeah, so I think I rated a 4-star on Goodreads, but because Goodreads doesn't have a half, yeah, I think I rated it a 4.5 star. I really liked it. It was super spicy, but the tension, the angst, I really liked it. It was really good. And the whole plot, as much as it was spicy, there was like, I love this book. Thinking about it, I really like this book. So would I recommend? I do recommend literally all the books so far, apart from The Perfect Son by Frida McFadden. I recommend Frida McFadden's other books like Never Lie. I really like Locked Door, which I know has like a lot of mixed reviews, but I really liked it. The Housemaid, the best one. Yeah, so those books. The Perfect Son, that's if like you've read all these books that I'm mentioning and then you still want to read her other books, then it will be good for you. But I wouldn't recommend The Perfect Son by Frida as your first book by her. Yeah, so that's her. And then I do have another book by Sheridan Ann. It's called The Pretty Monster, and I don't know if I'm going to read that this year, but it's one of my new books by her too. So yeah, I really like this book. And the writing was like so big. Well, not big, but like, I don't know, I think I'm used to like small writing in books, and like the spaces between them, between the lines were like really big. So I finished this on the flight actually, and yeah, I really liked it. And then I think the next book that I read was, okay, the next book I read was another book by Frida McFadden, which is The Boyfriend. I sold that one because the person that I sold it to is my friend, and she really wanted to read it. So I was like, okay, it's fine. Not because I didn't like it, because I think I actually didn't expect to like this one, because there were so many mixed reviews. Like, so many people were like, okay, but I didn't like it. Thank God I read it, because I really liked it. Like, I definitely liked it 10 times more than The Perfect Son. Definitely The Boyfriend was my top. And even though it like was so like, because it was not predictable at all, and the plot twist really got me, like really got me, because I was like, whoa, this whole time it was you. Yeah, I rated that one let me check. I rated that one a 4-star. Yeah, and I finished it really quick. Like, I literally finished that one in like 2 days. Frida's like books literally will take you out of a reading slump. Like, if you're in a reading slump, just please pick up a Frida McFadden's book and you will get out of it like this. And then the next book that I finished was Unfurl by Elodie Hart. This is a series, and it's called the Alchemy series, and this is book 1. I also have book 2, but I didn't buy the next books because they are standalones actually, so they're interconnected, but you do meet the first, like you meet the character of the second book, and that's like the FMC's best friend in this book, and she also meets a man in this book, and that's gonna be their story, I believe, in the second book. Okay, this was spicy. If I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, I would definitely say perhaps maybe like 8 or 9. Let's say 9, because it was very spicy. But it's not that it was also just very spicy. There was like a lot of things that also like made me like uncomfortable, but I don't want to talk about it. If you like a spicy, and I don't know if I want to even say like a romance, because I don't know if this is a romance. If you want a spicy book about a girl, because I remember it, I actually remember this book. So if you want a book that's really spicy about a girl who has never had any type of intercourse, and she goes to her parents' penthouse because they are going on a trip together for like about 3 months. And you have a neighbor that owns a club. Yeah, that's all. And you have like very strict Catholic parents. Like, when I say strict Catholic parents, like you go to church like at least 3 times a week. You're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that, and this is bad, you're gonna go to hell for this. Yes, this is the kind of book. I just felt like it was a bit too much for me, but I feel like I know there's a lot of people that may like this book. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know if I recommend, but if you're looking for something very spicy and something that can be entertaining, please pick up this book. I love the cover though. I feel like that's why I haven't unhauled it yet, but I love the book. I mean, I love the cover of the book. And I actually didn't DNF it, meaning I didn't hate it, because you know me, if I hate a book, I don't mind, I don't care to DNF. I can DNF a book like this. So I didn't DNF it. I rated it a 3-star. So yeah, there you go. And then I actually read Rena Kent's Monster Trilogy. This was for me a 5-star series. I loved these books so much. So for those of you who don't know who Rena Kent is, which I highly doubt it, she's a dark romance author, and I hadn't read her books like you know, before this, only because most of the books that I've seen that she's written are like long ass series, and I just cannot do series. Like, okay, not that I cannot do series, but like, I don't know, I just cannot commit to reading like the next book and still stay in the same universe. I don't know, it just doesn't work for me. But the series that I can do is if they are like connected, if it's a connected series, like if the first book, like, you know, finishes off on a cliffhanger directly, and then I can pick up the second book, then yeah, I would read it, I would finish that shit up. But if it's like about like another character that's in the book, and then like it's not yeah, I don't care, and it's hard for me to ever read even the second book. So the first book was okay, no, this is the third book, my bad. The first book was Blood of My Monster. This is the first book, and I loved it so much. It did finish on a cliffhanger, and I was literally like, thank God I had the second book, because I swear, I promise you, if I didn't have the second book, I would have lost it, because I don't do ebooks, and imagine if I just didn't buy the whole trilogy. Like, I would have been so angry, but thank God I did. And the second book is Lies of My Monster by Rena Kent. Literally loved the MMC. I've never cared for book boyfriends. I've never used that word. Obviously, I do hear it everywhere, book talk, booktube, bookstagram, until I met Carol. He's literally the only male main character that I was connected to. Like, this is literally, like, this book was so good to the point where I was thinking like I might read this again one day. And I always told myself that I would never reread a book, because why reread a book? Like, I can rewatch movies, but I just don't understand the whole concept of rereading books. I know a lot of people do it, and I wish I was you, but I'm just not one of those people. But for this, I was thinking of it. Mind you, I actually even wanted to like annotate, like I even started annotating that, but I was so invested, I couldn't even be bothered to annotate. But then the last book I did do quite well, and then after I was so into it, I was just like, no time for annotation. The FMC, I really liked her too, because she was definitely a badass. Like, she was definitely like a badass, so stubborn to the point where like it was just pissing me off at times. Like, she started really getting on my nerves in book 3, but I can understand, like, you know, you will meet her if you try to read this book, which I highly recommend. Please just, you know, try this trilogy. But yeah, I really love this trilogy. I read it with my book bestie Stills, and we both loved it, and we both rated it 5 stars. So that was our first 5-star of the year. And then I read Is She the Reason by Nako. So this was the book. I got this book like a while ago, last year. This was a urban, yeah, this is a urban romance, and I really like this book. Like, I gave this book, I think, let me see if I gave it a 5-star. Okay, I gave it a 4-star. I loved everything about this book, like everything about this book. Mind you, the book is very, like, it's a chunky book, but look at the writing. Like, see how big the writing is, and it was so easy to read. But one thing that threw me off is that, like, there's no pages. There's no page numbers. Yeah, there's no page number in this book. That's one. And then I felt like there was no structure to the writing. I don't really know how to explain it, but you should pick it up though. But when you read it, you will understand what I mean. But because you get so invested in the story, the whole structure doesn't really bother you. I mean, that's how I felt. I felt like the story was just so good, and I was really invested, and the female main character was such, like, okay, you think that she was a badass, but like this is a whole other universe, and she was definitely like boss babe, like, you know, building my own empire. Like, she was just, I loved her so much. I forgot her name, but I loved her so much. And yeah, the structure really threw me off a little bit, which with the page numbers as well. But I think that's the main reason why I rated a 4-star. If it wasn't for that, I would have rated a 5-star, because of the structure. Let me go back to that. Because of the structure, as much as the book and the story is so good, you do get a bit confused, because like sometimes you don't know in whose POV you're at. Like, I don't know if you get what I mean. I don't know, but I really liked it. And I really liked how every like chapter, let me show you guys, like every chapter there's a quote from an artist. So like this one, there's a quote from Future, and then there's also like from Janae Aiko, and like all the artists that she uses, literally I know them. So this one is Destiny's Child. But yeah, it's a hood romance. After reading Demon's Dream, Unexpected Love, I really want to dive into more urban romances, because I feel like right now I'm loving it. Like, it's giving like dark romance, but like a black love story in the hood. I love it, and I do plan on reading a lot this year or the year after. But yeah, and then the last book that I recently just finished. Okay, yeah, so sorry. I said in January I read 8 books, right? This book and this book I finished in the month of February. So in February I read only 8 books. What am I saying? I'm confused. Sorry. January I read 8 books, and then in February I read 2 books. There was so many things that were happening in February, and it took everything in me to even like finish this one, and it took everything in me to finish this one. I didn't even think I was gonna finish this in February. But yeah, this is the last book that I just finished. It's Rock Paper Scissors by Alice Feeney. This is also a psychological thriller, and let me tell you, So when I was reading this, at first, like the first few pages, like, let me not even say first few pages, but the first few chapters, I was just not like invested into it, because I was just like, okay, like where is this going? Like, okay, they're going to this house, okay, and I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil it, but like I was just not invested into it like at all. But like, it's about like a married couple, and they're going like on this trip that will help them save their marriage, because they're going through some like messed up shit between them. Mind you, from like what you're reading, they're both lying to each other about certain things, but you don't know what. And it's even deeper than that, because the plot twist, let me tell you, I think this was like one of the best plot twists that I've read since the Housemaid series. It's just that it takes quite some time for you to get really invested in the story, but once it picks up and you start like realizing, oh my gosh, yes, you're not gonna want to put it down. I was reading this on my phone in bed because my arms were tired from holding this up, so I was literally reading on my phone, and then I finished it and I really liked it. I gave it a 4.5, I think. Okay, wait, why did I give it a 3? Okay, no, I give it a 3. Well, I really liked it. I still recommend. I mean, by now I think I should actually do like a video of like my rating system, because my 3 still means like I really like it and I do recommend. There's just a little few things that threw me off, and like I said, it did get, you know, it took me some time to get into the book, but overall, like, the plot twist really got me, and I really liked it. It is set like in winter, and it was just annoying me because, I mean, I live in Ghana and it's summer like 24/7, 365 days a year. So yeah, and it did give me the vibe. Also, when it started, it gave me like The Never Lie by Frida McFadden. Like, it literally gave that vibe so much, like to the point where like I was just like, okay, wait, have I read this book already? Because even them driving in a snowstorm, it just, yeah, it was literally Never Lie, but then it has nothing to do with Never Lie. It's a completely different story. But yeah, these are all the 10 books that I've read in the month of January and February together. And yeah, I think my favorite reads for these 2 months were definitely the Monster Trilogy by Rena Kent, the Is She the Reason, the Haunted Love. I really liked Rock Paper Scissors as well, and then I really liked Sharp Objects. Honestly, we're coming up strong this year because I'm really loving the books that I'm reading. I haven't hated one yet, so, and I'm not hoping for any like bad books this year because we don't have time for that, like so yeah, I'm going to like get ready for my day. I mean, I'm not a lifestyle blog, so I'm definitely not going to be doing a video of me getting ready, but I'm gonna try to vlog where I'm going. Apparently you're not really allowed to like be filming, but I'm gonna try for you guys. And yeah, I'll just like, you know, insert the clips in it and probably just do a voiceover and then just end the video right here.